Well, I've enjoyed being in conversation with voters and talking about my background and the issues. So I've enjoyed that part of it, the one-on-one encounters with people and talking to small groups. And people seem to really respond to what it is that I have to say. Um, but I will say that the whole uh, fact of having to be a politician in order to run for a judge has been really jarring. And I think that there's something kind of um, antithetical about uh, having to practice kind of political skills in order to get a job that has nothing to do with being a politician. When you're a judge, you're really doing things that are completely different from what a politician does, it seems to me. Because politicians, I think, are in the business of pleasing their constituents and making compromises and doing things that will curry favor with the people who voted for them or who they have to serve in office. But a judge really has to make decisions that please the law and the law only. And in doing that, they're generally going to make a lot of people unhappy. And you have to do your job as a judge without regard for whether your ruling is going to please or displease, the participants or their family members or others in the community. So I think that's the opposite of what being a politician is all about. I mean, being a judge is all about making sure that you're following the law, regardless of whether it makes people happy or not. As a lawyer, one of the things I really enjoy is when the lawyers are engaged in what you might call a discourse with the judge about the issues, and where there's kind of intelligent conversation between the judge and the parties, kind of with a view toward testing the soundness of your arguments and trying to defend the positions that you've taken. And a lot of that has similarities in what you hear in Supreme Court oral arguments, which you can get online. And what you hear in those kinds of exchanges between the lawyers and the justices is a lively debate in which the justices are testing the lawyers through questioning to find out whether they can defend their positions and presenting them with scenarios that they're required to kind of improvise answers to, with a view toward probing for weaknesses and figuring out how strong their arguments are. I think that's a pretty fruitful way that trial judges can also interact with lawyers to try to figure out how strong their positions are. One of the things that's really interesting about our government is that, like many nations across the world, we have a very strong central government. But what's unique about our country is that in addition to that, the founders created a set of rights that really took power away from the central government and built distrust of that government into government itself. And what I mean by that is that the Bill of Rights express words of limitation in which the government is basically restrained as a matter of principle from overreach into the lives of individuals. And that starts right in the First Amendment, which says Congress shall make no law. And then all the other 10 amendments that are considered to be the Bill of Rights also limit the power of the government over the lives of individuals and establish a set of liberties and due process guarantees that are really what we think of when we say that this is a great nation and a great legal system. And it's all about individual rights as against the government, which is thought, correctly, to have a tendency inevitably to overreach into the lives of individuals and abuse its power. And as a public defender, one of the things that I've really enjoyed is the opportunity to make real in the lives of ordinary people the guarantees of liberty and freedom that are found in the Bill of Rights, and to make those ideas that originated in 1789 relevant to the lives of people living here today in our community.